All right, you live at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 New York Jets. And why are the New York Jets 0-16? Because they suck. Well, welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like, maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. Right. Instead of me also rambling on for 30 minutes or so, 30, 40 minutes, whatever. It's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level I got is called Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I could use all the support I can get, guys. But if you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links. The top one takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. And basically, I say this in all my videos. My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, it's all called the same thing. It's like New York Giants, the Gridiron. That way, I dumb it down for a moron like me. That way I don't have to worry about what's it called. What's my YouTube channel called? What's the Facebook group? What's the Facebook page? It's all called the same thing. Makes it nice and easy for me. What are we at? We just actually, I think it was 2 days ago. Might have been 2 days ago. We just reached a 5,000 member mark in the group. It's really, really doing good. Usually like in the off season, it gets a little bit slow as far as the group growing and all. But I mean, once the season, it's like last season too. Once the season started, kicking in a high gear and all, it started growing. So we just hit the 5,000 member mark about 2 days ago. And what is like, once I get done going live here, I'll probably try to spend like the next couple of hours putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll be going over in just a minute. Whether it's a post, a picture, something just showing some stats and a ball player. I'm sharing an article, a video I got, anything, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, by the way. I try to get at least 10 different things in there every day. And usually, especially now the season's almost upon us. It's unbelievable. We're heading into the 3rd preseason game already. It's freaking unbelievable the way time flies by. There's so much stuff. I mean, between, not only do I post stuff in the group, but the members post stuff in the group as well, too. So, I mean, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day going into the group. And the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. It's called New York Giants. It's the page, but it's the same thing. And once I get done going live here, I'll spend like the next probably close to 2 hours just putting stuff in the group and put stuff in the page as well. And as I said, I try to get at least 10 different things in the page as well, too. And it's usually, I said, once now the season's upon us, I mean, there's, and all the excitement is building up and everything. It's really not that hard to come up with 10 different things every day. It's rather easy. Now, in the page, I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post anything the page, but I said in the group, I mean, between me and the members, there's a ton of stuff going in there every day, and it's so it's not really hard. And I don't commingle the stuff. So basically, the stuff that I put in the page, I don't put in a group. The stuff I put in a group, I don't put in a page. I keep the stuff separate. You know what I mean? So there's a ton of different New York Giants information every day, 7 days a week. So I try to keep the stuff, separate. And as I basically, pretty much, I was away on vacation for about a week. I was in Mexico. I just came back. So this is my first video in probably like 9 to 10 days. It's been a while, but basically, so I didn't put in videos up on my YouTube channel, but I had internet access. And if I got internet access, there's stuff going in the group and the page, so pretty much between the group and the page is pretty much like darn near, 24/7, 365, every day there's stuff going in there all the time. So I mean, so basically if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, there's a ton of New York Giants information every day. And like I say, sometimes you just can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. So, I always got my money back guarantee. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Oh boy, I'll tell you what, man. Well, let's see. I think I missed like 9 days. I guess it was 10 days. I mean, you miss 9 days, you miss a lot, boy. I'll tell you. Really good. Vinny G-Man's in the house. Hey, pumped up. Oh yeah. The offense looked dangerous on the first drive without Saquon. That's right, without Saquon. And you figure if Waller held on to that one reception, that was a good hit. I can't remember that big blue kickoff live said that I forgot the name of the safety. He came up, he gave him a good shot. Hey, everybody's making a paycheck, I guess if you want to call it. Everybody's out there trying to make the team do the best and all that. So yeah, just can't be. Well, Waller caught the ball. He should have held on to the ball. Well, I mean, it was a good shot. He knocked it loose. But so Daniel Jones darn near perfect on that drive. With 8 out of 9, I believe it was. Whatever, he had the one scramble when the pocket, had some problems in the pocket there. He did escaped and he ran out of bounds for 6 yards and all. But I mean, but also, if you listen to Big Blue Kickoff Live too, John Schmelk was kind of talking, trying to keep things in perspective. They're like on, I don't know, like around 12 o'clock or so every day, Monday through Friday. Paul Dottino, John Schmelk, Lance Meadow, Jonathan Casillas, and Howard Cross. They're on there, Monday through Friday. And, obviously they're there with the Giants every day, so they know what's going on. But, John Schmelk was, trying to, things were looking good. Carolina, I forgot who they said their best pass rusher. He wasn't in there as well. It was nice to see the Giants kind of just walk down the field and all that. But, it's, gives you good feelings and all that. But he also said maybe it's kind of like, I think he said they were like Carolina was kind of playing like more like in a zone defense, and they didn't have the best pass rusher in there, so a lot of things are kind of like vanilla and all of that. But I mean, you can see, some of the nice, surprises that the Giants might have in store there. And then, of course, Saquon wasn't even in there. They didn't even throw a pass. They didn't even try a run, the whole time, the whole drive, except for the one Daniel Jones scrambled out. So, I mean, as I'm saying, you can just go figure. And it's like, that's without even Saquon in there. And you start seeing people drawing up stuff and all, all this. And, obviously, I mean, what can, what can you do from, I mean, Saquon's not going to see no loaded boxes this year. That ain't happening. You know what I mean? Especially if you got Hyatt, and then you got Waller. I mean, Waller's he's taking attention away from Saquon. You know what I mean? So Saquon's going to start seeing maybe 7 guys in the buy. Ain't going to be what they did last year, like with Seattle. I think they put like 8 guys in the box and just, Daniel, you want to beat us? You're going to have to throw the ball to beat us. Saquon's not beating us. Right? If you're going to beat us, hey, God bless you. You beat us, you beat us. Okay. But it ain't going to be my 26 ain't beating us. You know what I mean? So, but, so, I mean, I know you can just see the possibilities, and it was good to see Hyatt out there. I mean, but it's like with Eric. I mean, the one with Eric Gray. He's tried to pick up the blitzer and he kind of like whiffed on it. And all. I get it. It was just one play, and I think he had some good blocks in there as well. Because I was in Mexico, so I didn't get a chance to see like the game. I saw a bunch of highlights and stuff. But I mean. But the thing is, like with that, the Giants won by 2 points, and sometimes the between winning and losing is really, really small, and that's a play. The guy is whatever. I mean, I don't know. After the safety picked his jock strap up and decided, oh yeah, I forgot, I've got to run after Jaylen. I mean, Jaylen Hyatt was wide open. That's a touchdown. You got to score a touchdown on that one. Yeah, you got to score a touchdown on that one. We scored a touchdown on that one. Cool. But, it shouldn't have been that. It should have been even easier. I guess Tyrod was feeling the pressure that, the guy that Gray missed, and he got waffled. The ball was up in the air for like about an hour and a half. I mean, when you're seeing the highlights of it, it's like you see Jalin like kind of running. He's got 3-4 yards on the one guy, and it's like you're just like, when's the ball coming down? Come on, please come down. It was just, he caught it. We still had a couple yards on the guy and all that and everything, but it shouldn't have been that close, So, but I mean, that's the between winning and losing is really, really small, and it's just, thankfully it's just a preseason game. But I mean, something like that, you got to score a touchdown on, and thankfully we did. But it got a little bit closer, a little bit rougher than it had to be, Thank goodness Tyrod was able to throw the ball. He didn't get injured or nothing, but But that just goes to show you. I tell you what. I mean, Hyatt is the speed. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, he's running. The guy's backing up, and he just puts a move on him, and the guy's he's toast. I mean, it's gonna be fun. I mean, especially when you got somebody like that. I mean, because once he starts making a name for himself, it's they have to do something about it, or they're going to just keep getting burnt. So they might have to start laying back even more, which might start opening things up maybe underneath a little more for Darren Waller. You can't double team everybody. So I mean, so if they start laying back and, got Hyatt on the field, got to have to keep an eye out on him. We got Waller out there, going to have to keep an eye on him. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot we got that guy number 26 in the backfield. He likes to run the ball. He's pretty good too, Yeah, who you gonna double? Who you gonna gamble on, right? So that just goes to show you. I'll tell you what, it's I'm gonna start off with that one with Brandon Brown. Tell you what, that dude's a future GM walking right there. I think, and the thing I love is we got him from the Eagles. Oh man, but he's tell you what, he's a good guy. He seems like a real good guy, very well versed and all that. And I think he's a future GM walking. So I think we're very, very lucky we got Brandon Brown right now. But what he talked about was he seems to think, obviously, that Hyatt was actually limited. Who is this here? A Giants Wire. Who wrote this article? John Finelli? Maybe John Finelli. Because Brandon Brown spoke today, and one of the things he was talking about was, kind of like, going over, like, what Jalin Hyatt was just asked to do at Tennessee. A lot of people think that just at Tennessee, he had a limited route tree. All he could do was just run by people and all that. Well, yeah, and no, but I mean, it's also what was he asked to do? I mean, a lot of the colleges, they don't have, some of their route trees aren't as diverse as they are in the NFL, right? So I mean, maybe he was only asked to do a certain few things, and because in college, every week you're not going up against Alabama. In the pros, every week you're going up against Alabama. So I mean, their route tree was maybe only asked to do so many routes, whereas obviously in the pros you're asked to do a heck of a lot more. It's a lot more complicated and everything. But he seemed to think that he was kind of limited in what he was able to do. I said, did the Giants get a steal when they traded up in the third round of the draft to select Tennessee wide receiver Jalin Hyatt? Many experts believe that they have, and Hyatt himself has done nothing to dissuade them by asking the spectacular look routine with his record-setting and eye-popping speed. On Monday, Giants assistant general manager Brandon Brown told reporters that they haven't seen anything yet. Brandon Brown said he has a lot more talent in his body than the role he was asked to play in Tennessee. Of course, Hyatt, the 73rd pick, was the 10th wide receiver taken in the draft. Perhaps he has been the most written about thus far. I'm just partial to the Giants, but he's the most one I've heard about so far. And while most think the Giants found himself a diamond, there have been some who question Hyatt's maturity and whether or not he's a speed-only guy. Brown clearly disagrees with that notion, as have the Giants scouts. On Friday against Carolina, Hyatt followed up an embarrassing drop. But they went right back to him, which was good, for an easy touchdown against the overwhelmed veteran safety Eric Rowe. Okay, Eric Rowe, that's who it was. Yeah, I mean, that was... Whew. Paul Schwartz wrote, the growing anticipation is that Hyatt will repeat that kind of long-range assault on opposing defenses often enough this season, with Jones making the throws to ensure the rookie goes down as an NFL draft steal as a third-round pick. There is no doubt, though, the entire Giants operation is brimming with excitement about what Hyatt might be able to provide to an attack that it was last in the league last season in pass plays of 20 yards or more. Oh, yeah. I mean, I forgot what it was. Somebody brought up that like if you gotta watch out for Bellinger and Campbell. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Campbell's fast too. He's fast. Oh yeah. Brandon Brown is the man. Oh yeah. Do you think Shep is getting traded? A lot of. Yeah. I mean, well, now you got to also, like with Cole Beasley, he's injured. You don't know what the extent of his injuries are. Then, of course, you don't know Wan'Dale Robinson. They asked about him today, and of course, Dable kind of joked back at him. Said, I don't forget who it was, but asked Dable, what do you? So Wan'Dale Robinson, so he's closer, right? Coming off a pup, right? Right? And Dale said, yep, he's one day closer to coming off a pup. So you don't know how long it's going to be. Is it going to be going into the season? And Cole Beasley is injured, which is one of my things I'm going to be going over here in a little bit. You don't know how badly he's injured. Then, of course, you got Colin Johnson. He's got a knee injury. Well, let's see here. Oh, wait. Hold on. There we go. There we go. All right. Wide receivers. You got Hodgins. He's on there. Darius Slayton, write him in there. Paris Campbell, write him in there. Some guy named Jaylen Phillips. I think he's on the team too, right? And you got Khalil Pimpleton. I heard he might be the best return man that we have. But, I don't, but he's not going to give you much in the wide receiver. You got Jaden Mickens, David Sills, who today caught the longest pass, longest play of the day today at camp. But Cole Beasley, because he's injured. You got Jamison Crowder, Colin Johnson, Sterling Shepard. So I said, so you got Hodgins, you got Slayton, you got Campbell. Then if you go Shepard, Hyatt, and Robinson, that's 6. Now, Colin Johnson, you don't know how bad his knee is. Yeah, don't forget about Jamison Crowder, who can give you something in the return game. A good vet. Now, the thing is with Sterling Shepard, he's not going to give you much of anything in the return game at all. Now, of course, Cole Beasley with his, I don't know. It'd be a shame to get rid of Shep. Also, I've kind of heard somebody said Cole Beasley. Well, I mean, I've heard some good things and bad things about Cole Beasley. Somebody said Cole Beasley's kind of like not quite what he was. Sterling Shepard is looking good. People saying Sterling Shepard's been looking good. So it depends upon how many guys they keep. Let's not forget about Bryce Ford Wheaton either. Because they gave him some money, like a signing bonus. So actually, I don't even see him. This is ESPN depth chart. They don't even have him. They don't have Bryce Ford Wheaton on here. What a bunch of morons. So, I mean, if anything, Bryce Ford Wheaton, they'll try to maybe sneak him in, maybe get him on the practice squad. But, I mean, it's tough to say because as far as trading, because you don't know how close Wan'Dale is coming back off the pup. Cole Beasley, he's injured. You don't know how badly he is injured. Colin Johnson, he's got a knee. You don't know how bad that is either. I don't know if I can't see Sills, Mickens, or Pimpleton making the final 53. Then, of course, as I said, you got Jamison Crowder as well, too. A wily veteran who can give you something in return game. So that's tough. I don't know if they're going to keep 6 wide receivers, maybe somehow try to keep 7, or they're going to keep 6 wide receivers and maybe 4 tight ends. That's a tough one. That's really a tough one because, as I said, you don't know how far along the guys are with some of these injuries that they got. Wan'Dale quickness reminds me of Dave Megan. Oh yeah. I don't like Gray returning punts. Yeah, he didn't look too. He had a couple of he was like falling to the ground, like down, almost like he doesn't seem like he's, I don't know, all that comfortable returning punts. A couple of them, like it was last week too. Last week and this week, I think the 2 of them. I think he had a couple of them that he didn't seem to set up right underneath the ball real well. So we'll see. I mean, they're giving at least it's just preseason, right? So they're just trying preseason, but you'll have to wait and see. As I said, with Shep, well, one of the things I saw was Aquara. I think that's how you from Detroit. One of the trade rumors going around. I don't know if they were talking about trading Shep to him or not, but Aquara from the Lions. So there's all kinds of stuff going out there. But I said, but the biggest question, you don't know how long Wan'Dale's going to be out for. And let me go over here. Where are we at here? Where is? Whoop. Let's see. All right. This is they got some the injuries are here. He says this is in practice today. Giants offensive line was overmatched during the rough practice. Leonard Williams and Kayvon Thibodeau lived in the offensive backfield. Well, that's good and bad. But Williams knocked over Matt Breida and then did an Allen Iverson-esque step over while Breida was on the ground to take a knee because the unrelenting heat bested his gassed body. Thibodeau was doing sack dances at right tackle Evan Neal's expense. Overmatched. The flip side of that dominance, the offensive line was overmatched, allowing between 3 and 5 sacks depending on the timing of the whistle. Josh Azudu, Mark Lewinsky, and Ben Bredesen rotated a guard without any noticeable resistance. One series was stuck in reverse with 3 straight sacks before Daniel Jones threw up a 4th down prayer knocked down by Bobby Okereke after escaping a crowded pocket. Then, of course, then we have here David Sills. Remember, David Sills, the star of many recent training camps gone by because of his connection with Jones, has been pushed to the third-team offense by increased receiver depth. Sure enough, Tommy DeVito, good old Tommy DeVito. I'll tell you what, man, nice to see if Tommy DeVito actually was on the field and he actually got some protection and he had some good receivers on the field. Be interesting to see what he could do, huh? I'll tell you what, I mean, his escapability, he's got some quick decision making. I mean, we're not talking Tom Brady here or nothing, but we might have just found ourselves, somebody if he doesn't. Sorry, my dog Randy's underneath my legs, and I got to try to move my legs without kicking them. All right, there we go. I think, if we're going to keep DeVito on the practice squad, I think he might be somebody we might be able to develop. I mean, he does not have the ideal situations every time he goes out there, and he does a decent job. But David Sills, quarterback Tommy DeVito, hits Sills streaking down the right sideline for the biggest gain of practice. Good old David Sills. The guy seems like he's been on the team forever. Now we got the injury report. Tyree Phillips and Jack Anderson, Cole Beasley, Gary Brightwell, Tommy Sweeney, Cam Brown, Ryder Anderson, Nick McLeod, Jason Pinnock with a leg, and Cordell Flott did not practice. And Raheem Nunez Roches didn't join the teammates until the middle of practice for an unknown reason. Of course, then Colin Johnson was back at practice after not playing in last week's game. So that's a good sign for Colin Johnson because, he needs to stay healthy to have a chance. He's coming back from the injury. The last thing he needs is another injury. The beauty of it is that he's got, that 6'5", 6'6". I mean, he's got the height going for him. I said the last thing he needs is another injury. So we'll have to keep an eye out on him. All right. So then we got the decisions are looming for some injured ball players. So now, of course, I was hearing a lot of good things about Tyree Phillips. Patty Traynor was initially, talking him up quite a bit as being because we need a swing tackle. Then things started going downhill a little bit for Tyree. He suffered a leg injury in the first of the 2 joint practices against the Lions and hasn't been heard from since. Not good. Before the injury, he looked like the leading contender to become the team's swing tackle. And that's not all. Phillips, who played guard as a member of the Ravens, the team that drafted him, got some snaps for the Giants at guard for a few practices, looking right at home. Who is this? Is this Patty Traynor? Yeah, she's the one that wrote this article here. With the Giant swing tackle position still seemingly wide open, that's what it seems like. If he can get back to practice soon and pick up where he left off, Phillips would be the name to watch ahead of Matt Parrott and Corey Cunningham. Yeah, because Corey Cunningham and he was like a revolving door in the first preseason game. Oh my goodness! Wow, that was some rough tackle play. Let me tell you what. When he got on the field, offensive lineman Jack Anderson. These guys, and the injuries, and they got some the Giants. Obviously, I think it's next Tuesday at 4:00. I think it is. That's when they got to go down to the final 53. So we got like about a week. Let's see. Jack Anderson got some second half snaps on Friday night, but after a play, he hobbled off the field with a leg injury. Anderson has been competing for a backup job on the offensive line where he can play guard and center, but not if he's hobbling off the field. Before his injury, Anderson appeared to be sliding down the depth chart, with John Michael Schmitz all but clinching the starting center job and Ben Bredesen getting a fair amount of snaps there as a potential backup. Meanwhile, at guard, Mark Lewinsky looks like he'll start the year at right guard, while Bredesen and Joshua Zudu continue to slug it out for the left guard spot. So once again, Jack Anderson, unfortunately, being injured, is only hurting his chances to make the final 53. Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley has missed a few practices this summer with lower body injuries. Beasley, remember, came out of retirement to join the Giants this summer. I mean, he's made some, he had some catches against the Lions, but once again, you can't make the club in the tub. Or your best ability, David Deal. Your best ability is your availability. So if you're not available, once again, this leads you all back to, you don't know about, if they're going to keep Sterling Shepard, this, that, the other thing. I mean, you got Colin Johnson, who's just coming back from injury. Got Cole Beasley if he's still injured. While there is a popular belief that he would have made the roster regardless, given his prior experience playing in Dable's system in Buffalo, this isn't a situation like last year where the system is so brand new that it benefits from having guys with prior experience playing in it to help serve as locker room coaches. Beasley, when he's been able to be on the field, has looked serviceable, but it's hard to envision the Giants keeping both Beasley and Sterling Shepard at the expense of perhaps an up-and-coming young receiver. So that kind of, it's kind of like, do they keep Beasley? Do they keep Shepard? It might just come down to who's the healthiest. And, of course, you got Gary Brightwell. When Brightwell was drafted, it was primarily for special teams. Unfortunately, he not only appears to have lost his role as a kickoff returner to Eric Gray, but he could have been edged off the roster by second-year manager Sean Corbin, who has quietly had a solid camp. And Corbin had a good run, which got called back by a penalty. Right? I mean, our run blocking is got to get a little bit better. Of course, we don't have Saquon in there either, so. Brightwell can play on all the special teams unit, but so can Corbin. And Corbin has been available to give the team some quality snaps, something Brightwell unfortunately can't claim to be able to do. If Brightwell isn't healthy and ready to go by the cut-down date, which I think is next Tuesday by 4 o'clock, the Giants would have to waive him as injured so that his rights would revert to injury reserve if he goes unclaimed. They could also carry him on the initial 53-man roster at the expense of Corbin to add him to the injury reserve to be brought back after 4 weeks. But then they risk losing Corbin, who has had a solid summer, because they cut Corbin. If he doesn't clear waivers, if another team gets him, then you just lost to Sean Corbin. That's also not forget, Corbin, was brought in by this regime, Shane and Dable. Brightwell came with the store. Brightwell came with Walmart, right? He came with the team. So that, there's no ties there between, Shane, Dable, and Brightwell. And of course, now we got Tommy Sweeney. For unknown reasons. Sweeney's always seemed destined as the fourth tight end on a depth chart behind Waller, Bellinger, and Lawrence Cager. And to the outside observer, nothing seemed to change there. The belief was that maybe the Giants would look to slide him onto the practice squad, but his injury, the severity of which isn't known, could complicate things. Thankfully, we're not really talking about, thankfully, I don't want to sound like a total jackwagon. Okay, well, just, these guys are injured. Who cares? What we do? And I can't stand the Eagles or the Cowboys. You don't want to see nobody get injured. Absolutely nobody injured. But unfortunately, that's not the case. That's the way it is. But, I mean, we're not, thankfully, knock on wood, we're not talking about Andrew Thomas being injured. We're not talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. A lot of these guys are guys who may or may not even have made the team. The next one up, Cam Brown, unknown. The nature of Brown's injury isn't known, but his chances of making the roster this year were slim because he's a liability on defense. Good in special teams, though. Very good in special teams. Although he was a special teams captain last year, Brown didn't make a lot of impact plays during the regular season. Although he's listed as a linebacker, where so far this summer, he's played in 23 snaps over 2 games. He's only produced 2 tackles, 1 stop, and has allowed all 3 of his pass targets against him to be completed. Brown, who last year recorded 6 tackles on special team, 3 solo, doesn't give the Giants snaps at linebacker at all. Of his 109 regular season snaps, he only played 3 on defense last year. Only 3. So it might be hard to justify a place for him on the roster. Of course, then you got Ryder Anderson. His triceps. The coaching staff seems to like Anderson, but a tricep injury has shelved him for most of the preseason. Head coach Brian Daboll said that Anderson injury wasn't long-term after the defender was injured, but that it would be a while before he'd be ready to return. So, unfortunately, some of these guys, it's, it would be curious to see if the team puts Anderson on the initial 53-man roster only to move him to injured reserve, or if they feel comfortable enough with rookie Jordan Riley taking the last spot behind Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Joaquin Nunez-Roches, and Ashawn Robinson. So I guess they're looking at like 5 of the interior defensive linemen. Who's going to be the 5th one? I'll tell you what, Jordan Riley. I mean, we're not talking Aaron Donald here, but, for a 7th-round pick, Jordan Riley seems to be pretty impressive, especially for a 7th-round pick. Nick McLeod. Nick McLeod has been sidelined for a few weeks with an undisclosed ailment. The Giants have been cross-training him to play at safety, hoping he'd develop into a swing defensive back who could play both safety and cornerback. That, of course, has been on hold while McLeod recovers from his ailment, which is, once again, unknown. Jason Pinnock, he's got a leg. Pinnock's injury is new, but the good news, according to head coach Brian Daboll, is that the team's projected starting free safety's ailment is a day-to-day ailment rather than something of the more concerning long-term variety. So hopefully it's, we got, almost darn near 3 weeks until we play the Cowboys. So hopefully it's nothing concerning, even if we got to hold them out against the Jets. Hopefully it's something that can come back within 3 weeks. Hopefully. Then we got Cordell Flott. Flott has twice had injuries following a preseason game. He suffered an abdominal issue against the Lions, which did not cost him any practice time. Now he is again with an ailment, though it's unknown if it's the same injury as before. An ongoing concern with Flott is his durability. Not very big. Although he added bulk in the offseason, questions remain about whether he is sturdy enough to hold up on the outside. Oh, yeah. So, they have some practice day. The Giants were in shorts and shells Monday. They will practice in pads on Tuesday. Glowinski took some snaps at left guard for the first time since 2017 when he was with the Seahawks. The Giants are either continuing their quest to find the right rotation, or they're very cleverly giving guys snaps at different positions to improve the depth in the event of an injury. I think, I definitely think they're trying to just, give guys different snaps in different positions. Not a good showing for the starting offensive line. Evan Neal working at right tackle and Ben Bredesen at right guard gave up a sack off of a stunt to Kayvon Thibodeau. Defensive lineman Leonard Williams, who ended up gassed by the end of practice, was spotted leaving early after being busy in the team drills, which included him logging back-to-back sacks. Xavier McKinney picked off a Hail Mary, and outside linebacker Azeez Ojulari recorded a sack. There were a few positives for the offense. So Tyrod Taylor connected with Sterling Shepard on a touchdown, and later hit receiver Colin Johnson. So that's good. Colin Johnson, good. Who returned to practice. Tommy DeVito continued his impressive camp by hitting David Sills deep. Trey Hawkins continued his fine summer, coming up with an interception and breaking up a pass intended for Isaiah Hodgins. And Darren Evans walked off the field with trainers. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. But tell you what, good old Mr. DeVito, Tommy DeVito. Not bad, not bad. I mean, I think we might have possibly found a quarterback to work with. I mean, just seems like a poor guy every time he's on the field. He gets the ball and he's like, he's like ducking and dodging and all of this. He's quick thinking on his feet. Obviously, he doesn't have the best guys blocking for him, and he doesn't have the best receivers. Once again, he doesn't have the best defenders coming against him either. But he seems like he has some quick decision-making ability. So be interesting to say. Hopefully they can, if they don't keep him on the 53, hopefully they can get him on the practice squad. And then we got finally, then the Giants brought in a cornerback because we let Rodarius Williams go. And Greedy, I believe it was his brother, Greedy, the Eagles let him go. So on the same day we let Rodarius go, the Eagles let his brother go as well too. But so we brought in here we go. An additional cornerback. So I mean, they're just trying them out. Now, obviously, it's nothing. William Jackson III at cornerback. They're working him out. So it doesn't mean that we signed him at all or anything. So the Giants seemingly added 2 stud cornerbacks in the draft with Deonte Banks and Trey Hawkins, but still aren't quite satisfied at the position. Behind Banks and Hawkins and veteran Adoree Jackson, the Giants face some question marks. Cordell Flott and Darnay Holmes have played solidly this summer, but the depth is lacking. Aaron Robinson remains on the physically unable to perform list. He always seems, unfortunately, like he's always injured. And the remaining group, Oruwariye, Darren Evans, Jamon Green, Zion Gilbert, inspire little confidence. With the regular season opener against the Dallas Cowboys just under 3 weeks away, General Manager Joe Shane may look to upgrade the unit. Aaron Wilson reports that cornerback William Jackson III is en route to East Rutherford, New Jersey, to work out for the Giants. Aaron Wilson says, William Jackson III, who recently worked out for the Ravens, now heads to New York, where the speedy former Bengals first-round draft pick from, University of Houston, is set to work out for the Giants per a league source. The 30-year-old Jackson was a first-round pick of the Bengals in the 2016 NFL Draft. Now, the Bengals took him in the first round, and of course, we took Eli Apple, right? Oh man! And oddly enough, the Bengals took Jackson in the first round, and now he's coming to work. Not saying he's going to sign with it, but now he's coming, to work out for the Giants. The Giants drafted Eli Apple, and of course, where did he wind up at? He wound up with Cincinnati. Let's see here. He joined the Washington Commanders in 2021 before being traded to the Cowboys in November of last season. In 75 career games, 64 starts, a speedy Jackson has recorded 205 tackles, 1 quarterback hit, 1 sack, 51 passes defensed, 5 interceptions, and 1 defensive touchdown. Not bad. Jackson, who ran a 4.37 40-yard dash, earned a 49.6 overall grade from Pro Football Focus last season. His best grade, though, came his rookie season. He had 90.2 as a member of the Bengals. Let me see here. I got it here. Pop him up here. His rookie season, yeah. He was, let's see, 6 foot tall, 196 pounds, 4.37 from the Houston Cougars. He was drafted in the first round, number 24 overall of the Bengals, the 2016 NFL Draft. For some reason, he didn't play in 2016. Let me see. Let's see. Nope. All right. So for some reason he did not play in 2016. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe is he William Jackson III? Was he injured? There we go. Let's see if Wikipedia says anything about him here. Because, I mean, you get drafted in the first round and he doesn't want to. All right, let's see. The deep cornerback class going to combine. Many analysis were more focused on Vernon Hargraves. Jackson attended the NFL Combine, was unable to finish all the drills at the Combine after suffering cramps. Oh. No. Oh, wait. Here we go. Cincinnati Bengals select him in the first round. On June 10, 2016, Jackson signed a 4-year deal. Throughout training camp, Jackson competed to debate the Bengals' third cornerback on the depth chart against Darqueze Dennard. During camp, Jackson had suffered a torn pectoral muscle and would have to undergo surgery, leading him to miss his entire rookie season. There you go. So he suffered a torn pectoral muscle in 2016. That's why he didn't play at all in his rookie season. So, but his best season was his rookie, non-rookie, whatever, in 2017, his first year actually on the field. He played in 698 total snaps. He had 423 coverage snaps. He graded out at a 90.4. They threw the ball at him 43 times. He gave up 15 completions. He gave a 34.9% completion percentage. He gave up 151 yards total. I mean, 48 yards after catch. He gave up a 41-yard completion was his longest he gave up. He gave up no touchdowns his first season, and he had 1 interception. His second season, he gave up 5 touchdowns. His second season, he graded out a 73.4. According to Pro Football Focus, once again, he gave up 5 touchdowns, had no interceptions. He only gave up 55% completion percentage. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, his fourth season, he only gave up 52% completion. His fifth season in 2021, he only gave up 58.5%. This certainly isn't horrible. Last season, though, he gave up, well, he was only in the, he played for Washington 204 snaps. He was 127 coverage snaps. They threw the ball at him 19 times. He gave up 16. He gave up 84% completion percentage. So, but it's the last season, I mean, he according to Pro Football Focus, that's all I'm going by. His first season was 2017, graded at 90.2. Last season with Washington, he graded out at 49.6. So nothing super spectacular last season, but once again, just bringing guys in. That's all it is, just for some depth. You let one guy go. You got a spot open. You try to bring somebody else in. We could there's a couple spots, obviously, or a few spots we could use some depth at, but I'm not sure if we're totally satisfied with the outside edge, right? With the depth of that, you start shaking your head a little bit at some of the offensive line depth. It's the offensive line's got better. Shane ain't going to step up there and wave his magical wand, and we're going to have an unbelievable starting 5, and we're going to have fantastic depth behind him. It's kind of tough to do that in 1 or 2 seasons. We're certainly getting better without question, but there certainly are some spots we could use some depth at. Cornerback would be one of them. Are we satisfied with our edge rusher depth? As I said, our offensive line sub. But the one thing is that when next Tuesday rolls around, this is another thing Brandon Brown was talking about too. They're not going to be shocked by nothing. They have a lot of good feelers out there who might make the roster on the other teams, who may not make the roster. The problem is this year is that the Giants were much higher on, or lower, or whatever you want to call it, on the pecking order. Last year, when you're picking number 5 and number 7 in the draft, when there's any free agents out there, you're whatever you want to call it, you're higher on the pecking order, I guess. Right. So, so if you like somebody who out there is a free agent, you only got a couple teams in front of you. Well, that's not the case this year with the Giants. The Giants are, way down, So if there's somebody the Giants like, well, there's got a lot of other teams out there that might like the player too, that they might want to get them. So the Giants are going to have a little bit harder time this year picking out, getting some maybe a free agent or so or whatever, somebody that gets let go, being able to get them on the team. But the thing is also is if you do get somebody out there who gets let go, you have to put them on your 53. So that's the thing. But I mean, it's never ending. It's never, you're never going to be, oh, okay, the team's set. We're good. Okay, we're good for the next fight. It's never, you're always going to be letting guys go, bringing guys in. But also, of course, a lot of it's also because of injuries. And it also brings you back kind of whatever full circle to, Cole Beasley or Sterling Shepard. Might come out to be just who's healthy and who's not. But it is going to be. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be next Tuesday. I think they said 4:00 on Big Blue Kickoff Live. They said next Tuesday, 4:00 is when they're going to wind up figuring out who's going to be on the 53 and who's going to get let go, and hopefully some of those guys clear waivers, and we'll find out who they bring back on the practice squad and all that and everything. But it's going to be interesting to see. But a lot of it might have to wind up knowing who comes out of the Jet game healthy, and some at least knock on wood, we haven't had nothing. I mean, obviously with Davis at linebacker, lost him for the season. Stuff's going to happen, but knock on wood, none of the major stars have been, big time injuries or anything like that. So hopefully we can come out unscathed from the Jet game, and we'll see. We'll take it from there. But so tomorrow I got putting the pads on, and we'll be back again tomorrow. So it's been Vinny G-Man. Good talking to you, buddy. Thanks for checking out the show. Greatly appreciate it. So it's been 51, almost 52 minutes. So whoever spent any time listening to me shoot my mouth off, thank you. Or whoever spends any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.